Hello everybody and welcome back to Clash of Streamers Explained. Today we're going to talk all about the cryptocurrencies Purpose and Doobie. There has been a lot of talk in the past regarding this topic, and generally speaking, not many people know exactly how Purpose and Doobie relate to Clash of Streamers. In this video, we will be discussing this topic in depth, starting from the basics and ending off with exactly how Purpose and Doobie actually relate to Clash of Streamers. If you're already familiar with Purpose and Doobie, or if you only really care about how they relate to Clash of Streamers, you can skip to the timestamp shown on the screen now. So, what exactly are Purpose and Doobie? Purpose and Doobie are cryptocurrencies. More specifically, they are ERC20 tokens on the Ethereum blockchain. Both of these tokens were created by a man who goes by the name Athene. Athene is a sort of internet philanthropist or altruist who has a history and track record of raising money for charity through various online stunts, among other things. In the past, through many of his efforts, he has managed to bring in more than $24 million for Save the Children to support programs of theirs, allowing the money to reach countless children worldwide. He has received quite a bit of recognition for his efforts, some of which include him being personally invited to talk at the United Nations, as well as being thanked by Melinda Gates for his support of Save the Children. There is honestly a bit too much to talk about in this regard, and since this really isn't the topic of the video, you can check out his wiki or watch his documentary, My Life as a Gamer, for more info. The links to those will be in the description. So then, why did Athene create Purpose and Doobie? Purpose and Doobie were created with the intent of providing the world with a decentralized universal basic income, hence the acronym Doobie. In fact, Athene is currently working together with Save the Children to figure out the details for the first Doobie pilot program. It's expected the first pilot program and test run will be launched in a remote village in Uganda, and progress is already being made in this regard. You can check out his Save the Children link found in the description for more info on that. As for Purpose and Doobie themselves, what can you do with them? One of the primary uses of Purpose is to create or mint new Doobie. The way this works is through a locking mechanism. You can choose to lock your Purpose and make it inaccessible for a period of 3, 6, or 12 months in exchange for 1%, 2%, or 4% of the Purpose in the form of Doobie. For example, you can choose to lock 1,000 Purpose for 3 months. As a result, you will instantly receive 1% of your Purpose back in the form of Doobie, which is equal to 10 Doobie. After the 3-month period is over, you can then choose to release your locked Purpose, returning the original 1,000 to your wallet. With that Purpose, you can do whatever you please. You can sell it, you can hold it, you can relock it again for a different period of time, the choice is yours. Doobie, on the other hand, has its primary use tied to the actual universal basic income aspect, as this is the token which will be the foundation to providing people with a basic income of sorts. In addition, it actually has quite a few uses within Clash of Streamers, which we will get to shortly. If you would like to get a bit more info on the crypto side of Purpose and Doobie, we made a small infographic that represents some of what we just talked about, and you can find that in the description. Both Purpose and Doobie are currently traded on DoobieX, a truly feeless, decentralized Ethereum exchange. Not only that, but DoobieX is also the place where you can lock your Purpose and receive Doobie. Although we will not be discussing how you might get Purpose and Doobie in this video, you can find links to where they are traded in the description. So now, the moment I'm sure you've all been waiting for, how exactly are Purpose and Doobie useful in Clash of Streamers? What can you do with them? Well, the first major use can be found on the Gaming for Good shop. When you head to clashofstreamers.com and head to the shop tab, you can find a variety of purchases which will grant you in-game loot in exchange for Purpose or Doobie. You can find several gem packages, as well as purchases for any of the 3 rarest currencies in the game, the Madness chip, the Insanity chip, and the Ascendance chip. While the current dollar price of Purpose and Doobie might fluctuate, the price of these packages will always stay relative to a dollar amount. By the time you are watching this video, the Purpose or Doobie cost of each of these packages might be a bit different. However, you can be sure that the dollar price will always be relatively close to what you see on the screen here. All of the packages found on the Gaming for Good shop will provide you loot for much better value than what you might find in-game. In the past, we made a best purchases video, and in one section of the video, we discussed the value of the purchases that you can find in the shop. In that video, we said that you could get almost 2.45 times the loot for your money than what you might find in-game. Well, it has actually changed, quite a bit in fact. Each of the Gaming for Good shop gem packages now give double the amount of gems that they used to give. So that means if you purchase any of these gem packages on the Gaming for Good shop, you are getting almost 4 times the loot for your money than what you might get simply by purchasing any of the in-game base gem and krypton purchases. For example, looking at the base gem and krypton packages in-game, for $150 you can get 15 million gems and 5,300 krypton. Meanwhile, on the Gaming for Good shop, shop for $150 worth of Purpose or Doobie, you can get 60 million gems and 15,000 Krypton. The value you can get from the Gaming for Good shop is actually pretty ridiculous. So if you ever need to get a ton of gems or Krypton, this is the place to be. Now that we've covered the Gaming for Good shop, we can shift topics a bit and take a look at the uses of Purpose and Doobie within the actual game. In Clash of Streamers itself, the main uses can be found within the blockchain building. However, unlike the Gaming for Good shop where you can use both Purpose and Doobie, the blockchain building only has functionality for Doobie. In fact, pretty much everything inside the blockchain building revolves around Doobie. After setting up the blockchain building itself and getting your wallet working, you have about 4 things that you can do with Doobie. You can buy or sell Doobie for Ethereum, you can buy or sell exported heroes and pets for Doobie, you can empower your exported heroes and pets with Doobie, and you can rent empowered heroes and pets for Doobie. Since this is quite a lot to take in all at once, we're going to take a look at each point individually so you can get a clear picture of what the blockchain building is all about and exactly how Doobie is used within it. The first point is pretty straightforward. You can buy or sell Doobie for the cryptocurrency Ethereum. Of course, this can always be done on the decentralized exchange DoobieX as well, but for some people it may be simpler to use the in-game trading function. Before we get into the next 3 points, it's important that we understand exactly what exporting is. Exporting is the process of removing a hero or pet from the control of your Clash of Streamers account and placing it under the control of your Ethereum wallet in the blockchain building. You can do this by paying a fee in the form of Krypton. After exporting any heroes or pets, they are now owned by your Ethereum wallet. This means that you can then import this Ethereum wallet into the blockchain building of a different Clash of Streamers account and have the exact same exported hero or pet as the first account. However, you can only have the same Ethereum wallet imported on one account at a time. Once a hero or pet is exported, it exists only on the blockchain, and Clash of Streamers simply provides an interface to interact with it. Now that we got that out of the way, we can discuss the rest of the points. The second point I mentioned is that you can buy or sell any exported heroes and pets to other players. All of these trades will be made in exchange for Doobie. Essentially, if you have a hero or pet that seems like it could be valuable, you can export it and then sell it for some Doobie. You can then sell that Doobie for Ethereum, like we mentioned in the first point. There are a lot of factors that come into play when it comes down to making money through Clash of Streamers, so we won't be discussing that much in this video. I also mentioned that you can empower heroes and pets with Doobie. So what exactly is that all about? Empowering is the process of permanently adding Doobie to an exported hero or pet. Once Doobie is added onto a hero or pet, it cannot be removed without destroying said hero or pet. So you might then wonder, why would you choose to empower any of the heroes or pets that you export if you're just going to destroy it? There are a few reasons for this. For starters, empowering an exported hero with Doobie will increase its base power. The power increase is based on your hero's position on the global leaderboard of Doobie empowerment. Any players in the top 1% of the Doobie leaderboard, or in other words, any players that have empowered their heroes with more Doobie than 99% of other players, will have a 100% power increase on the hero. By default, even if your hero is ranked at the very bottom of the Doobie leaderboard, your hero will still gain an additional 20% power increase, which is still pretty significant. To get placed in this leaderboard, all you need to do is empower your hero with at least 0.001 Doobie. While a 20% power increase may not seem all that significant, you can be sure that if you ever plan on progressing into the very late game stages of the campaign tower, boss tower, or even the arena, you will definitely be needing this power increase. Perhaps the most significant part of Doobie empowerment is that it makes your exported hero or pet available for other players to rent. A player that chooses to rent your hero or pet will have the ability to use it for 10 minutes. In the case of renting your heroes, other players will likely rent them to help progress through various combat stages where they might normally be stuck. In the case of renting your pets, other players will likely rent them to help create colored pets, since the only pets allowed on the blockchain are shiny pets. After empowering your exported heroes or pets with at least 0.001 Doobie, any player can then choose to rent them. Now this is where the fun begins. For other players to rent any of your exported heroes or pets, they have to add more Doobie onto them. The Doobie that is added onto your heroes or pets is now yours to keep. So if you ever decide to reclaim your originally added Doobie, that extra Doobie from other players is included. In the case of your empowered heroes, this means that they can potentially get stronger over time if enough players actually choose to rent your heroes, increasing their ranks in the Doobie leaderboard. If you're lucky enough or smart enough, this could potentially become a Doobie generating machine for you. As you can probably tell, Purpose and Doobie are quite heavily integrated with Clash of Streamers. Overall, they open you up to some of the best deals available. They allow you to potentially monetize your progress in the game and give you the ability to progress much further as you head into the late game of Clash of Streamers. At the end of the day, arguably more important than any of these points, by using these cryptocurrencies with their intended uses throughout Clash of Streamers, you are supporting a universal basic income pilot program headed by Athene and Save the Children. It may be hard to believe, but some less fortunate people may be leading happier, healthier, and safer lives in the future thanks to you. And that's all I've got to talk about today. Don't forget to subscribe for more, a lot more Clash of Streamers content on the way. Until the next time.